And it's wrong, man. I'm going to put it out there. I don't care who hates us for it. That's what we're here to do, is bring transparency to the wrongs of our industry. And that's one of the things that irks me. I go to these conferences, these financial services conferences, and then all of these big guys that are doing all this volume get up on the stage and they talk about their best practices. And the best practice half the time is a smoke and mirrors pony show or whatever they call it. It's ridiculous, and it makes me sick. And I don't like it. And I think that there's a better way to do it, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's been the driver since day one, that we're going to do it right. We're going to do it the right way. We're not going to be shady about it. Annuities are good products. Why are you scared to tell people what you're there to sell them? We're not.
Yeah.
The name of our company is Annuity Association. Okay. When you talk to us, you're going to be talking about annuities, not Social Security, optimization.
It becomes frustrating, but at the same time, it does become laughable, or it's just like that. We don't need to gloss over what the purpose is that we're here for. It becomes a little frustrating. And I think to the point that you make about the rate changes that happen, that, if you're looking at a specific annuity, you should be informed if a rate change is happening. It shouldn't turn into a high pressure sales tactic to get you to sign your name on the dotted line. And that's the approach that we will take, is we'll always let you know, hey, X, Y, and Z are happening, just so you know. Leave it there for you to chew on, and how it may affect you or may not affect you. But at the end of the day, that's not the reason to get a sale.
No. And there's actually a better option too. And that is, look, if the client is getting to a point where they're like, this is a good product, this is the one that I'm kind of leaning towards, and they do want to get that higher rate, it's simple. They can put in the application and sign off on it, but it doesn't mean that they have to fulfill it entirely with the funding aspect.
Right.
So to lock in the rate, and with most carriers or annuity providers, if you put in the signed application, you have a window of time of when it needs to be funded by. But as long as the application's in and the funds are in at that deadline, which is usually about 60 days after the application's been signed, and we can request extensions in most cases, especially our firm, since we do a lot of volume with a lot of carriers, we have relationships there. And we say, hey, look, we got a scenario where someone's funding needs to be pushed back a little bit. We can get those authorizations just about every time. Point being here is, if you want the higher rate, but you still don't want to feel rushed, you can still put the app in, secure the rate, knowing that you still have a window of time to fund it. And guess what? If you decide that that annuity isn't the right one for you, or we discover another product that's better after the further discovery, we can just cancel the application. You're not tied and bound to it and required to fund it. And that's important to note. You can lock the rate in, put the app in, but you don't have to fulfill it, and we can just cancel it. It's not a big deal.
That's right. That's right. So to recap what we've covered so far on why these mistakes happen: lack of knowledge, pressure from salespeople. The next would be misleading marketing, which you you really hit on there already, just in the approach that sometimes how annuities are positioned. But in addition to that, another thing that you and I have both heard before is a big bonus. Maybe that hits the billboard a little bit more often than it should. And also, we'll often see higher illustrated returns, which jokingly we came up with another term for that. But big bonuses, higher illustrated returns, and these are often used to bait somebody into an annuity and seem better than it can be.
Yeah, the big bonuses, that's just something that I've, since day one, since we've been putting content out, this is 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things and messages that I've been trying to bring and shed light to was that don't get caught up in the bonuses. The bonuses are hype. It's all marketing fluff. It's all used so that they can print it on a pretty shiny brochure, or an agent can come to you and say, hey, look, Mr. or Mrs. Jones, if you buy this annuity, we're going to give you a 20% bonus. It's all crap. And you know the old adage, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. And that's what my mom taught me.